Hello, everyone, and welcome to another reading of the month of December 2019. This is the monthly intuitive reading. This month, I would like to do something just a little bit different. And the difference is that I will do the same reading with the three cards. That is the situation, the overall situation of the month, so the energy in the month of December 2019. Then, as usual, the central card is the advice from a soul perspective, what is to do so that we can better take advantage of these energies so that we are evolving in the right direction. And then the final card is the gift. At this time, I'm going to ask you to actually feel each card just quickly whenever they appear in the screen, because there will be an extra card that I have drawn to give you further advice depending on which card did you choose, because that resonated more with you. So despite of the meaning or the position of any of the cards, so just focus on each card, the first, the second, the third, and then choose any of the cards that have has resonance with you. And at the end of the main reading, I will do three extra cards, and you can check your card and see what extra piece of advice the universe has in store for you about the month of December 2019. I hope you like it. So let's start with what is surprising to me, what is really amazing about this month is really the energy of heart. So the heart energy that is around the month of December is very strong. At the same time, it's no surprise, it's Christmas and all these festivities. And so there's a big energy of the heart available for us. We are ready to exchange some of our energy with other people through love, through gifts, through the meals that we prepare, through the time that we spend with others. So there's this energy of the heart building up, and you can feel that also in the reading, that there's a lot of this energy. And the first card actually is not related to the heart, not directly, let's say. The first card is Gimel. And Gimel is, the key word with Gimel is giving about yourself, about your gifts, giving your time or your energy to other people, and really doing it with the spirit of knowing that whatever you're giving is going to be also exchanged to you in some sort of way. Maybe not directly with the person that you're giving, maybe it's going to come back to you through another person, or just something that you are not expecting in the moment that you are not expecting. But there's always, with this exchange, when you're giving, you are also receiving something in return, maybe from another part, through another way that you are not probably expecting. So it's not always I give you something, you give me something back in return. Maybe I give you something and the universe gives me something of what I need to go on with my life, let's say. That's more or less how it works. So Gimel is also reminding us that if we are not giving of ourselves, so if we are keeping all of our talents, all of our time and energy and love and gifts to ourselves, we are eventually, how can I say, it's almost like we wilt, like a plant, a plant that, like something that if you are not giving, you eventually wilt your resources. So this energy is kind of stagnant and is not running inside of you. These creative energies or this heart energy is just stagnant inside of you. So we always need to give whatever it is that you have, even if you think that you have nothing material to give. It doesn't have to be that. It can be also just your time, your attention, your love for 5 minutes, whatever it is that you have to give. And as I said before, if you see the overall energy of this Christmas time is, at least in for whomever is also a Christian or celebrates this energy anyway. And even if you are not, if you're Jew or if you're Muslim, you can also feel this energy around you. It's not related to any religion, what I'm saying, of course, is just to the basic principle of unity, that we, at the end, no matter what religion you profess, we are all together in this. The second card is the advice. So the advice is rage. And rage is always, I always instantly think about the energy of the heart chakra. So if you see rage is also a green, I'm not sure if this looks the same in the screen, but rage normally has this green energy to it. And so it's related, that's why it's related to giving as well, because it's related to the heart chakra. But what rage is advising us this time of the year is to let go. Let go of the mental control. And I know that it's very hard. I mean, I keep on, let's say, I keep on facing that every now and then, and many times, especially in the, if you pay attention in the subjects that where you are losing trust, or where you have lost, let's say, your innocence, where you have had some bad experiences or traumas, those subjects, those themes are always where your mental control will be stronger, and you will be probably looping into mental or almost obsessing about worries and trying to find solutions, or just going through whatever he said and that said and the other said, and you just go on with patterns or thoughts of that just repeat themselves endlessly. So rage is asking us to trust and to really let go of this mental control, to be able to really surrender ourselves to the energy that is running through us, to surrender ourselves to the infinite wisdom of our heart and of the universe, to find solutions and to know that we are always going to be in the right place at the right time. And this is really important for us to remember whenever we feel that we need to know every detail about what is going to happen in a subject probably that is worrying us. We need to surrender. We need to really abandon our worries and really just make an act of maybe an intention of really surrender your mental control to life, so that they, or the universe, as I said, or your soul, will find you and give you the solutions and the hints, and just pay attention. And whenever you let go of this control and allow the space and allow the signs to come in, you will be able to see them all around you, I'm sure. We all do that, and we sometimes, I think we sometimes don't see it because we are worried in this loop of thinking, and we are really focused on that. So just try that. The other piece about rage, or what is rage telling us, is that we go back to the initial card, is trusting also that, so letting go of the control, how are we going to get back what we're giving? So we are just giving, and we are going to get back, so this is trusting, we're going to get back what we need in the way that feels best for us. Just a clarification here, I'm not intending give of yourself until you are exhausted and completely void of any energy and you're depleting yourself. That is not the same. While giving, you can still be aware of your own needs. You can still be aware of where you stand in in that situation of giving, what are your limits, what is that you need, where you need to stop to recharge you. So pay attention to that too. And but also trust that whatever you're giving is going to come back to you in whatever channel, through whatever channel the universe uses to give you back whatever you have put out there. The last card is the gift, and it's amazing because it's the same subject of last month. Right now, I really don't remember if it was also the gift. I think so. I think it was also the gift. And the last card is Nun Finale, which is talking about kind of this ultimate integration, in the sense that is really the integration of self-denied aspects. So it's finally coming to be part of ourselves. So do you have, sometimes we go through periods of life, and especially in these last years, we go through periods where we're probably focusing on one aspect, one thing that we are not really happy about ourselves, that we are probably also judging or criticizing ourselves about that. And we go through that, and first probably we feel, oh no, you again, no, you think that I hate to see about me, you're coming back to me and you're kind of making my life impossible, and I thought I had solved you, but you're coming back. And so those aspects are the ones that are finally, because also the energy of Nun Finale is a closure, it's really a completion. And I think it's not only about the completion of the year, but it's really a completion of a much larger cycle within ourselves, when we are letting go of very, you can say, a very deep wounding, because also the shadow self, or this self-denied aspect, is also something that that we have put away because we could not deal with that when the trauma or the wounding happened. And so we are able now to close that chapter. So look out for this. Look out, I mean, don't really go crazy about it, but just look out, just be present and be aware of that. If we really allow our mental control to release control, if we allow ourselves to release the control of our mental activity, of our ego also, about any situation, we will see, because the ego basically is what has been formed. The ego has this aspect of the shadow self, no? And the shadow self is the wound. If we are allowing this ego to be, let's say, to relax, if we are allowing our mental control, because that's where the ego kind of locks in, if we kind of let go of that mental control, go through another area of ourselves, probably the heart, we are going to be able to, as Nun says, to love that shadow so much that it will finally kind of realize itself, like be aware of itself, and know that actually this aspect, maybe an anger or a sadness or a depression or a feeling not worthy, that will finally you would be aware that that was okay all along, that you were actually fine, that there was actually light all over the place in that aspect too, even if you probably felt maybe a bit ashamed about that part, or maybe felt that you could not deal with that part. But you will find light in that aspect too. You will find that there's light always where there's a shadow. So of course all that will give us the perception of exiting duality and go into a space of peace, because we have embraced this aspect of ourselves. We have talked about this the whole year, and I talk about this integration of shadow aspects all the time. But this is what healing work is about. So we will have to face that eventually. Okay, so now we're going to start the individual advice depending on which card of the previous three you have chosen. Okay, so let's see how it works. Let's see if it works for you. So the first card, so if you choose Gimel, that was the first card, the more specific advice for you will be Aleph Final, which is really amazing, because really we were talking about giving, and we were talking with Gimel, with the first card, we were talking about giving, and we were talking about trust. And what other card will talk about that more than Aleph Final, which is related to the Christic light, is related to the unconditional love. So it's really taking the choose to love anything and everything just the way it is, without trying to change it, without trying to judge, without judging it, and without doing anything, but just love it and accept it the way it is. That's, I think, the biggest challenge in this lifetime while we are in a body, in this collective consciousness at this time. But I think this is how we can also make and create a difference out there. So try it. This is your advice for this month. Focus on the Christic light, focus on the unconditional love. So meaning no matter what it is, what are the circumstances out there, inside of you, with others, with yourself, you are going to be loving that. Okay, the second card was, oh God, okay, the second card was rage. And the advice in this card is the card of Tet. Tet, and this is kind of, let's say, is the one that is different from the other three. So it's really important, I think, if you choose the second card, if you choose rage, your advice for this month is to actually focus on the Kundalini energy. But in which sense? So it's actually releasing the guilt and the shame that you might have about your body or about your sexuality. Because Tate is talking about the life force. No, the Kundalini is the life force running freely through our spine, through our human body, but especially or fundamentally through our spine, from the base chakra to the top chakra. And that life force needs to run freely in order for us to stay healthy, physically, but also mentally, emotionally, and connected to our soul. But when you have, let's say, a shame or a guilt regarding your sexuality, there could be a blockage in the lower chakra. So I'm talking about chakra number 1, which is the base chakra, or chakra number 2, which is the sexual chakra or creative chakra. So any of these aspects, any of these areas of your life need to be acknowledged or revised or reviewed, or just look closely if you hold any shame or any any guilt regarding your body, regarding how you live your sexuality or sexuality in general. And that would be the key for you, to release this life force, to allow the creative force to run again freely in your body, in your life, in your experience. And another thing that is very interesting and is very important, and just is that Reish is the heart, and Tet is talking about the sexuality. And normally when we open, and it's really logical, when you open the, let's say, the stream of the sexual energy, the heart opens as well, because then the energy can flow up and open the heart area. So, and again, we were talking about the heart throughout the whole month of December. So pay attention to that, and I hope it's useful for you. Then the last one, which is again amazing, it's again the energy of the heart, because it's the third card related to Nun Finale. So if you choose Nun Finale because that was the one that resonated with you, your advice will be Aleph. So not Aleph Final, but Aleph. But still, the energy is about the same. So Aleph is really the heart of hearts, and is tuning in into our own intuition, into the connection with our soul, to find this unequivocal and peaceful answer for ourselves. So especially because we are also in this period that is kind of a preview of what's coming next year, what is coming in the beginning of the year. And as you have heard, and probably you have already felt in your experience, there are many changes coming on for us, individually and globally. And especially if you're faced with a decision, with let's say, a big life, a big decision in your life, moving, leaving a relationship, taking a new job, taking a new activity, going to be independent in your work and set up a business, or whatever it is that you are facing with right now, you will be very mentally active probably, and that will create a lot of anxiety. And so to be able to go and reach for an answer that will be sitting really peacefully inside of you, and really that you feel that that is an unequivocal answer, that there's no doubt, you will have to go and contact your heart of hearts. Basically, you will have to contact the intuition in your heart. That, I've spoken of that many times. It's also how your body feels when you talk about a certain aspect of a certain subject. There's people who are very aligned with their bodies, and they can instantly feel a difference even in a word, just like the water can reflect these crystals formations differently depending on the word that you speak to that. You also inside yourself, with all this water that we're made of, and not only that, but just because we are made up of vibration, we can perceive those differences. So you can also, I explained that exercise many times, about writing down in a piece of paper each of the options that you have, and then feeling it with your body. And if you're not familiar with this process, you can start in a very small way. You can start by even creating for yourself a little game for choosing something that maybe will not have any repercussion or any consequence that is like very life-changing, so that you can get familiar with the process of feeling and know when you actually felt the option that was better for you. So for instance, it can be just trying new things, or visiting a friend or not, or going to the cinema and look at that and that film. So you can just make a little game so that you can feel more at ease with that process, and that you will actually then maybe up your game into a bigger kind of decisions, into bigger decisions with the same process. So that is aligned with your body, and if your body feels right, you can also feel it right. You can also know, that is aligned with your heart. And that's what's Aleph telling you this month. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. It's a little bit longer than usual. I hope you like this new setup. Please let me know if you like it. Please let me know if it works for you. So like that, we can go on with this new format. Thank you very much, and I see you next time.